Beneath the dense green canopies of rainforests and in the tangled shadows of jungle underbrush, a silent predator moves with a grace that belies its immense power. The jaguar, a creature of both myth and reality, slips through its world like a shadow brought to life. Its golden coat, adorned with intricate rosettes that seem painted by nature's own hand, glimmers faintly in the filtered light. Each step is deliberate, each movement a reminder of its mastery over the wild, a balance of beauty and raw strength. For centuries, the jaguar has embodied mystery, an icon of the untamed wilderness. Its roar, echoing across forests and riverbanks, is not just a call, but a proclamation, a reminder of its dominion over the landscapes it inhabits. Often we imagine this majestic beast deep in the heart of the Amazon, or prowling the steamy jungles of Central America, where the air is heavy with the scent of rain and earth. But the jaguar story reaches farther north than many realize. Once, these powerful cats roamed the southern United States, where deserts met forests and rivers carved their paths through rugged canyons. The jaguar's presence was woven into the land itself, a symbol of wildness that thrived in the shadows of towering oaks and in the golden glow of desert sunsets. This connection to the U.S., now nearly forgotten, lingers in fragments, in stories passed down by indigenous peoples, in ancient rock carvings, and in place names that whisper of a time when jaguars were kings of this land. The jaguar's journey is not merely one of survival, but of belonging. A tale of a creature that shaped and was shaped by the landscapes we now call home. Historical records and fossil evidence paint a vivid picture of a time when jaguars roamed freely across the lower 48 states, their territory stretching from the arid landscapes of California to the lush woodlands of the Carolinas. These great cats were not strangers to the American wilderness. They were its guardians, moving silently through the dense forests and wide-open plains, their golden forms a natural part of the landscape. Indigenous peoples, who lived in harmony with the land, spoke of spotted lions and revered these creatures as powerful spirits of the wild. Early European settlers, encountering jaguars for the first time, described panthers or leopards, their unfamiliar eyes witnessing the untamed beauty of a predator unlike any other. In the stories they left behind, the jaguar's presence was as much a part of the land as the rivers and mountains. Evidence of this legacy endures. Place names such as Panther Peak and Jaguar Springs echo the jaguar's dominion over these territories, their significance written into the very geography. Ancient petroglyphs carved into rock faces depict large cats with curling tails and powerful postures, eternalized in stone by artists who likely watched these creatures prowl the edges of their villages. Yet this vibrant chapter of America's natural history was cut short. As settlers expanded westward, seeking farmland and progress, the jaguar's world began to shrink. Forests were felled, prairies were tamed, and rivers were diverted. Habitat destruction stripped away the jaguar's shelter and prey, leaving it exposed to the growing pressures of human expansion. Predator eradication campaigns, fueled by fear and a desire to protect livestock, marked jaguars as enemies to be hunted. Traps, rifles, and poison decimated their numbers. Slowly but inexorably, jaguars were pushed southward, retreating into the dense jungles of Central and South America, leaving behind only whispers of their once mighty presence in the United States. Today, only traces remain, a pawprint in the collective memory of a land that was once their home. These traces are a call to action, an invitation to restore what was lost, and to imagine a future where jaguars once again roam the wild places of the American Southwest. Why should we bring jaguars back to the U.S.? The answer lies in the profound role these creatures play, not just in nature, but in the story of the land itself. Jaguars are more than predators. They are keystones of balance, guardians of biodiversity, and symbols of a shared natural legacy. Their return to the U.S. would be a step toward healing ecosystems and reconnecting with a history as wild and beautiful as the jaguar itself. As apex predators, jaguars are essential architects of the ecosystems they inhabit. They regulate prey populations, preventing overgrazing and ensuring the health of plant communities. Their influence cascades through the food web, supporting diverse species and stabilizing the environment. By reintroducing jaguars to the American Southwest, we could see a resurgence of balance. Deer herds moving more dynamically, vegetation flourishing, and smaller predators finding their place in a healthier, more complex web of life. The jaguar's presence is woven into the cultural fabric of the Americas. Indigenous communities revered them as symbols of power, wisdom, and connection to the spiritual world. Their imagery graces pottery, carvings, and stories, reminders of a time when humans lived with a deeper awareness of nature's rhythms. Restoring the jaguar to its historical range honors this cultural legacy, allowing future generations to witness firsthand the living embodiment of these ancient stories. A landscape with jaguars is one of diversity and vitality. The return of these big cats could act as a catalyst, strengthening ecosystems against the pressures of climate change and human development. Biodiversity isn't just about the number of species. It's about the intricate relationships between them. Reintroducing jaguars would revive these connections, creating a more resilient natural world capable of adapting to an uncertain future. Bringing jaguars back isn't simply about returning a lost species to its home. It's about restoring the balance of life, rekindling a cultural bond, and committing to the stewardship of the earth. It is a call to recognize our role in nature, not as dominators but as partners, and to act with a vision that spans generations. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service has taken a bold step by designating critical habitats in Arizona and New Mexico to pave the way for jaguar populations migrating north from Mexico. These regions, with their rugged mountains and desert landscapes, hold the potential to become sanctuaries for these elusive predators. Yet, the path to rewilding jaguars is fraught with challenges. Habitat fragmentation caused by roads, development, and agriculture creates barriers to the jaguar's movement, isolating populations and limiting their chances to thrive. Human-wildlife conflict, often fueled by misconceptions and fears about predators, poses another significant hurdle. The success of rewilding jaguars hinges on collaborative efforts. Partnerships with Mexico are vital to maintaining the genetic diversity and connectivity of jaguar populations. Creating and protecting wildlife corridors, natural pathways that link fragmented habitats, can ensure safe passage for these big cats. Public support, through awareness and advocacy, is equally critical. The dream of jaguars once again roaming freely in the United States depends on a shared commitment to coexistence and conservation. Support wildlife organizations. Organizations like the Jaguar Recovery Plan and other conservation groups are at the forefront of efforts to reintroduce jaguars and protect their habitats. Your donations, volunteer time, or even simply sharing their mission can make a tangible difference. The more people understand the ecological and cultural importance of jaguars, the greater the momentum for their conservation. Share stories, facts, and updates about jaguars on social media, with friends, or in your community. Awareness fosters empathy, and empathy drives action. The survival of jaguars is tied to the health of their habitat. By choosing sustainable products, reducing your ecological footprint, and supporting land conservation policies, you can help preserve the ecosystems that jaguars depend on. Advocate for wildlife conservation by contacting local and federal officials. Encourage them to prioritize funding for habitat protection. Support legislation aimed at restoring endangered species, and oppose initiatives that harm wildlife corridors or critical habitats. The vision of jaguars reclaiming their place in the American Southwest is not just a dream, it's a possibility. With determination, collaboration, and public engagement, we can turn this vision into reality. Let us stand together to ensure that the jaguar, a symbol of strength and resilience, can once again roam freely in the land that was always its home.